with all the holy places closed, and
Yes.
someone could ask, like, why, how can Allah Ta'ala destroy the entire humanity? How would, like, for example, in Surah, in Dua Kumail, it says, like, uh, how would you destroy one who you have created by your own hands, and then you have given or nurtured with your own hand, or yourself? So, one question that could come is, why could Allah Ta'ala be so angry? Or because He's always merciful, and we always talk about the mercy of Allah. So, why can He be so angry that all the places of worship, all the places where du'as are accepted, are closed? There is no, like, people are just left on their own. There's nothing that is coming out. On one side they cannot eat food, on the other side they cannot get out of their home, on the third side their virus is outside. How, why would Allah be so angry with people, if some people believe in Allah and they see that Allah is angry?
Very good. That is very good question, and thank you for asking this question, Farhan. And here, maybe my answer will surprise you and maybe surprise others, but this is my opinion. That's what that's how I see the matter. Now you are talking specifically about the holy places and the places of worshiping, right?
Yes.
Who closed these places? You keep saying that Allah closes these places. Is Allah close these places or people close these places?
People.
So why Allah has to be blamed for that?
True.
The
Right.
people, the people close it by themselves. Not only that, I will direct you to a very important ayah in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah. In this ayah, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specifically said, He is saying, وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ أَنْ يُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا أُولَئِكَ ما كان لهم أن يدخلوها إلا خائفين. Did you ever hear this ayat before?
Yes.
You know what this ayat said?
But I don't
What's the
remember.
meaning?
No, I don't remember the meaning.
وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ منع مساجد الله أن يذكر فيها اسمه. Allah said,
Who?
who is more aggressor, who is more oppressor than that person who closed the mosques of Allah,
Hmm.
the place of worshipping of Allah, منع مساجد الله أن يذكر فيها اسمه. He prevent that the remembrance of Allah to be remembered in the masajid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يذكر فيها اسمه وسعى في خرابها. And he was actively closing the places of worship and they make it like kharab. Kharab means ruins.
Hmm.
Ruins means that it become closed places, nobody inside. That is what we call kharab in Islam. Do you
Right.
remember Sayyidah Zainab when they stayed in the khariba? What is the khariba? The place where there is nobody living in it.
Hmm.
So they make the masajid of Allah become like kharab, like uninhabited places, closed places.
Hmm.
Look at the haram now in Mecca, it is kharab.
Yes.
Look at Masjid al-Rasul, it is kharab. Look at all the masajid, Sunnah or Shia, they are kharab.
Yes.
وسعى في خرابها أولئك ما كان لهم أن يدخلوها إلا خائفين. Allah said that those people who take this decision and carry out it, they will never enter these places except while they are in fear.
Hmm.
They are in fear. Now, you as a Muslim, can you go now to any mosque, or any Muslim can go to any mosque while he is not fear? He will fear to enter the mosque.
Right.
He fear to enter the haram.
Yes.
See how Allah described it beautifully. أولئك ما كان لهم أن يدخلوها إلا خائفين. Because they allow that to happen, Allah judgment to have a fear even to enter. So they do the action, and Allah punish them for that by making them fear even to come close to it.
Mm.
Who closed these places? Did Allah send rocks which prevent people to enter the masjid? Who take the decision to close al-Masjid al-Haram? That's people.
Yes.
That is tyrants. Who
Yes.
make the order to close the masajid? That is the
Right.
place of worshiping. Do you know today, the Eastern, how many people were fighting in the Christians to open there, and many of them, they insist to open their churches, and they go inside and make gathering to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to practice their rituals inside their house of worship. But we, the Muslim, we totally surrender to the orders came to us. We didn't say no. We are going to our masjid. Even if we have to die, let's die inside the masjid. Let's die inside the haram. But we take the decision that, oh, okay, that is the widespread, that is an epidemic, and you could catch the virus from praying. And even if you enter the prayer, you have to keep 5 feet between you and the next one. So this means that you have to disobey the ruling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in praying.
Mm.
And yes, I know that the ulama said that it is okay. They will carry the responsibility in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of whatever decisions they make. But I know very well that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran that the masajid of Allah should never be closed. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ منع مساجد الله أن يذكر فيها اسمه. He prevents the masajid of Allah from people being worship God, worship Allah in this masajid. وسعى في خرابها. He make all his effort to make these places empty places. While that is the time we need our masajid. Yes, that is the time to close restaurants, to close nightclubs, to close gyms, to close clubs, social clubs and entertainment centers and all of that. But it is the time to open our masajid, to raise our dua. That is when, if we believe that this is Amrullah. That is why the difference, Ya Farhan.
Right.
If you believe that this is Amrullah, you didn't care about anything. You care that to subject yourself to the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So where you can subject yourself to the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if it is not in the masjid, close
Right.
everything in the city, but not the houses of worship. But because we follow the tradition of the secular people, who they think that it is إنما هي حياتنا الدنيا نموت ونحيا وما يهلكنا إلا الدهر. They think that is natural causes. It will work. You want to go there, the virus will attack you. You will die out of the virus. Don't be stupid. How you go to the masjid? That is not the Islamic values. That is not what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam teach us to do. That's why last time I asked you this question. Imagine if Imam Ali alayhi salam is living in these days, how he will act as a true mu'min, as Amirul Mu'mineen. And then we have to follow our Amir. We have to follow our leader. Right? He
Yes.
Amirul Mu'mineen. What you think from your ma'rifat, limited ma'rifat of Imam Ali, your limited, very narrow, limited knowledge about Imam Ali, how how do you think he will deal in such a case? Do you know that Omar, during the time of Omar, the
Yes.
plague had affect one big city in Palestine. So Omar, and this city it was the headquarter of the Muslim army led
Mm.
by Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, and there is many companions with him. So Omar was traveling from Medina to that city in Palestine to visit the troops
Okay.
while he was Khalifa. And then, while he is in the mid of the way, the news comes that, oh, this city has been infected with plague, the Black Death.
Mm.
So Omar immediately decided to return back.
Mm.
So when Abu Ubaidah, who was in the city, and by the way, Abu Ubaidah was one of the conspirators against Imam Ali. So when Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah knew that, he sent him a letter. He sent a letter to Umar. In this letter, he telling him, oh Umar, do you want to escape from Amrullah, from Qadarullah?
Mm.
Do you want to escape from Qadarullah? How come you want to escape from Qadarullah if that is the Qadar of Allah? Why you have to escape from it?
Right.
Then Omar wrote back to him saying what? Saying, I am escaping from Qadarullah to Qadarullah.
Hmm.
And they consider that from the ilm of the Umar, from the
Hmm.
fiqh of the Umar. And not only that, they use that tradition now to say that, see, that is from the Islam, from the deen, that you when you know that there is a place of epidemic or something like that, you didn't have to go,
Hmm.
and you didn't have to come out. They use this hadith. Of course, we have the
Okay.
hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that if a disease happen in a city, just the people living in it don't leave it, and the people who are outside don't go to it. That is, yes, that's a precaution from the Prophet ﷺ. But they didn't say that the Prophet never said that the people inside this city who get affected, they have to close their masjid. They didn't
Right.
have to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They didn't have to
Right.
make Salatul Jama'ah. The Prophet didn't say that. Never.
Mm.
It didn't happen. But that is how the people of non-faith, that is how they escape the death. Look at Umar, and he's Amirul Mu'mineen, he is the Khalifa of the Prophet. He decided to interrupt his trip and retreating back, fearing from death. No wonder,
Mm.
because he's the same
Mm.
guy, fear from being killed in Uhud, and he was the first one to retreat and abandon the Prophet, right?
Right.
Right? It is the same character,
Right.
which fear from death. Fearing from death, it is not from our deen, it is not from our Islam. Take your
Mm.
precaution, but not fear from death. If death has to hunt you, it hunt you, even if you look. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, قُلْ يَأْتِيكُمُ الْمَوْتِ وَلَوْ كُنْتُمْ فِي بُرُوجٍ مُشَيَّدَةٍ. This ayah for whom? For the Muslimin. Allah is telling them, say, Ya Muhammad, tell them that even if you protect yourself in a fortified castle, death still can hunt you inside. That can not
Right.
protect you from death. That is our belief. That is our belief. Not your home will protect you from the virus. Not any place will protect you from the virus. If Allah wants you to get infected, what prevent you from getting infected, that is the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. And look at yesterday I saw the scene in Egypt. People were going in hundreds in the streets. They didn't care about any regulations. And
Right.
still, the number of the people affected by the virus, it's not compared at all to the number of the infected people in the United States who carry out all the regulations of the social
Yes.
distance and the stay home and all of that. Because we at the end, it is the mercy of Allah would protect you, but
Right.
that it need a lot of faith to practice
So,
that. Not not all
so,
people has that that amount of faith.
so, Dr. Hadi, is this then knowing that yes, we protection is like we cannot put ourselves like for example what happened in the day or the night of or the evening of Ashura when the fourth Imam said, "Do not we saving life is paramount. We have to save life. We cannot just burn in the Khayyam." So it's precaution is
Of
important,
course,
but
of course, precautions is nobody said don't take precautions, but in your heart you should believe that not this
right,
precaution will protect you. And I give you example last
right,
time, like when you go to the doctor, you have to go to
yes,
the doctor and use the medication, but never for a moment think that this doctor or this medication is the one will save you. It is the rahmah
right,
of Allah only will save you.
right,
That is the example of Nuh alayhi salam. Allah ordered Nuh to build the ship. He didn't tell him, okay, the flood come and I will send an angel to carry you and save you. No, there is a sabab for salvation, which is the ship, right?
right, right,
But when you
yes,
enter the ship, he, when he tell his son, when he told his son, Ya bunay, irkab ma'ana, he didn't say that this ship will save you. He told him, La asima al-yawma min amri Allahi illa man rahim. It is not the ship will protect you. It is the rahmah of Allah, which
right,
represented in the ship, a sabab. So you ride the ship, but you have the belief in your heart that, oh, it is not the ship which is protecting you from being sink. No, it is the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is so if you are in that situation, you will not feel panic, even though you are at your home, you are taking the precautions and everything, but you are not panicking, you are not fearing from death. You are not scared like you see that the Muslims are doing now. They are scared. Why we have to be scared of that? We get saved not through these measures, even though we have to take it. I didn't say that don't
right,
take it, but you have to believe that only the rahmah of Allah can protect
right.
you from.
So,
Yes,
so, Dr. Hatem, before we go to that question about Imam Ali, let me just recap this. So, when Allah's Amr comes and understanding between whether it is the natural causes, Qadrullah, or
yes,
Amrullah, if we believe this is Amrullah, the only thing that can protect is the Rahmah of
exactly.
Allah. Rahmah of Allah is like whoever Allah wants, but there are certain places in the world where Allah Ta'ala has a special rahmah. For example, people going to Khane Kaaba, they when they see the Kaaba, their prayers are accepted. Under the shrine of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, it's guaranteed that your du'as will be
Yes,
accepted. So there are certain places where the du'as are accepted or the rahmah of Allah
yes,
is prevalent. Now, those places are under the control of
yes,
government. People might want to go, but the governments have closed those
yes,
places. So there, it seems like there are two things happening. One is by closing the governments closing those places, they're keeping people away from the rahmah of Allah by in the honor or in hoping of precaution. So is this a test of marifa of the people or the government, or just showing that okay, the governments or whoever is in charge, they don't have the true like they don't recognize this. And the second one is indirectly, because nothing happens without the will of Allah. So this fitna is basically showing us that okay, you people, you are not ready. You don't have the marifa that is needed to say okay, we Allah will protect us, and now you go and fend for yourself because all the places of marvel or all of the rahma are closed by yourself.
Yes. Yes,
So
yes, yes. What you are saying is true, but of course, for the regular people who want to now to go and raise their dua under the dome of Imam Hussein, because that is their
yes,
belief that the rahmah will come here or around the
yes,
Kaaba. So
yes,
those or in front of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So
yes,
those people, they have been prevented. It is not in their hand. They are not can do it, but they refrain from doing it out of makhafat, but
yes,
the place is open. No, the place has been closed already. So those
right,
people, of course, excused by Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept their their dua and send their rahmah to them, even even if they are not under the dome of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Because all depend on
okay,
their beliefs. They
right,
their belief that, Ya Allah, if the place is open, we will go and worship you and ask us of rahmah. But you know, Ya Allah, that this place beyond our reach, it has been closed by tyrants, by those who have the power. So they prevent us from going inside. They prevent us from worshipping you in the places where you love to be worshipped. So, Ya Allah, we raise our dua from our homes. That is the only thing we can do. Allah, of course, because Allah knew their intention, and He knew that this is beyond their hands. They are not
right,
responsible for that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from them as they are under the dome of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That is why Allah allow for us to make ziyarat of Imam Hussein from bu'd, from afar away. Because you know that
mm,
some time will come on the humanity when under some tyrants you can even come close to the masjid of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. You can't even come
right,
close to it. So that's why Allah make for us easy to, from far away, you become like in front of Imam Hussein, and you send your salam and recite Ziyarat Ashura and recite exactly as you are under the dome of Imam, and you take the reward. There's the same reward as you as. That's why, for example, in the night of Nisf Sha'ban, the most important amal to make Ziyarat al-Imam al-Hussein. Did you make Ziyarat al-Imam al-Hussein?
right,
Really? Did you go physically? No, but you make it
no,
from your home. It's a rahmah from Allah
yes,
subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah will give you the edge of those who go physically and visit Imam Hussein. Because it is beyond your reach. You can't do it. For different reasons, you can't do it now because it is already closed. But who will carry the responsibility of closing these places? Those who took this decision, who give this fatwa of closing it. Whoever gives the fatwa, he will carry the responsibility in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is not our business. Alhamdulillah, it is not our business. That is their
right,
business. Who closed the Kaaba? Because closing the regular mosque in one street of Pakistan or Egypt is not like closing Al Masjid Al Haram. You
yes,
are closing Al Masjid Al Haram. You dare to do that. You dare to do that. You cancel the farida. What is the difference between cancel? Okay, can I ask you a question? And please, I want to everybody listen to that. Farhan, what if tomorrow, the reports come, medical reports, confirmed reports, come and saying that, oh, we found as a doctors, we found that making ruku' and sujood increase the possibility of catching the virus. What we will do? No, tell me, I am asking you seriously.
According to what I've been reading recently, people will stop
Yes,
doing
and the
ruku and
ulama will
sujood.
approve that. And
Yes, what
yes,
I've
and
just
what
recently
if
read.
they
Yes,
issue another regulation in the United States, the God of everybody, that, oh, we discover, the doctors, Dr. Fushi, discover that fasting, specifically in the months of Ramadan, make you more susceptible to the complication of the coronavirus than any other group of people. What we will do?
yeah. S- Will people will not
See, see how
fast?
the shaitan play with us. That's why
Yes,
Allah mentioned in the Quran, in the mouth
yeah,
of وَلَآمُرَنَّهُمْ فَلَيُبَتِّكُنَّ آذَانَ الْأَنْعَامِ وَلَآمُرَنَّهُمْ فَلَيُغَيِّرُنَّ خَلْقَ اللَّهِ. The shaitan is talking to Allah. I will order them to do abnormal things, and they will follow me. And they will follow me. Even if it is totally didn't make sense. Don't shake hand with anybody. Okay. Cover your mouth on it. Okay. Stay home. Okay. Don't pray. Okay. Close the Kaaba. Okay. Don't eat. Okay. Don't go to the bathroom. Okay. Don't sleep at night. Okay. This will increase the coronavirus. Okay. I will still order. You can do anything just to escape death. See how, which condition we reach. What we'll do if tomorrow, now we stop a farida from Allah, farida, because we fear from coronavirus.
yes,
Who is, we keep blaming, we the Shia keep blaming Umar, that how come he stopped the sahm of al-mu'allafata qulubihim? How come he stopped the zawajul mut'ah? How come he prevent Hajj tamattu'? How come? Oh, mashallah. Now we are preventing the Hajj itself. So we make Omar like a small kid in comparing to what we did already. What is this? What
yes.
is this? And every day they come with new regulations. Every day would come with new regulations. Who can guarantee that tomorrow they said, oh, all the earth, the floor, that everything is contaminated. So please don't make sujood on anything. Just pray while you are standing. Just pray with your eyes. We are going to follow. And nobody is daring to say, stop this craziness. No, you are not going to control our life in such a manner.
So Dr. Hatem, I think one question to think about. I completely agree. This is a very important point that we should think of, along with like how do we. I think there are few different dimensions. One is like the example that you gave at the beginning, the 4 or 5 steps that the people of Garden took, and after they saw the azab and after they
Yes,
experienced the azab,
yes,
how they changed. Second is also learning how we can
yes,
avert this azab. But at the same time, when we are in this situation, just thinking about the actions that we're taking, they highlight different aspects of the marifa of people. If I just, based on this example that you just, this question that you just asked, I'm just thinking like, okay, before this event, the degree of or the challenging questions were different. Do we stand up against injustice? Do we stand up against doing this, that, that? But now, in this situation, do we even do our responsibilities, or shaitan can stop us from doing those in the expectation that out of 100 people, 2 or 3 people might get seriously impacted of that? And what if we don't get infected and also do not do our fariza? Like, is there like a bigger consequence for that? Like, what happens if a person who doesn't do fariza and then he dies after after Ramadan ends, not because of
Yes,
corona but
he will
something
be
else?
responsible in front of Allah
Like,
subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course. Of course, he can say, excuse, oh ya Allah, Dr. Fushi said that if I do that, I will catch corona. Can say he said that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Will be that accepted from him to saying that? Allah will tell him, didn't I descend for you the Quran? Didn't you read this ayah? قُلْ لَنْ يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا. Didn't I told you in the Quran that death will come and hunt you even if you are a fortified tower? Didn't all the prophets and the imams died before you and in very young age? Why you have to fear from death? Worship me, regardless the reason. Worship me. Do whatever I order you to do. If you die while you are doing that, you are dying as a shaheed. Yes, but just to cancel farida from the fara'id, because I didn't hear that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam cancel or prohibit a farida to be performed because of anything. Yes, he said that
right,
if it is very, very, very cold or rainy too much, or you can't see your way, you can pray at home. But he didn't say that stop praying. We didn't know what
right,
tomorrow it will come to us. Maybe they come and said, oh, we discover that washing your faces and the hands and that is help too, because the virus is totally unknown to them. They didn't know anything about it. This will help to widespread the virus. So the Muslim will not allow to make wudu because water will activate the virus. Then we'll stop to do wudu. We can't live our life like that. Every day they control our life with some theories which keep changing every day. And at the end we see that
right,
whoever that the virus does not affect the whole humanity. Until now, the percentage of the virus, of those who got affected by the virus, it is less than 0.5% of the whole population of the earth. While people
right,
living their life in most places of the earth, living their life normally, only here in Europe and these places, we are under totally restriction. People in Egypt, even here in New Jersey, you find people in Jersey City and this, they are going as usual, as nothing going on. It is not like the people living in suburban areas or rich areas where they carry out all the regulation. And at the end, those who catches the virus, they cause the virus. And those who Allah written for them that they catch the virus and get cured, they get cured. Even if their age is over 90. Yesterday there was a woman over 90 here in New York City and get cured from the virus, while a person 18 years old died from the virus. So at the end we are in front of the phenomena of death as usual. As usual, the
right,
percentage that you can die after you get out of your home, that's what we keep saying on every Jum'ah, that you can die at the next moment from any reason, corona or not corona. This is not the problem to die. All of us will die. The question is are you ready to die? Now the question, how to
yes,
protect my life so I will not die. See, that is thaqafa, that's the culture, that is a Western culture, that's the culture of the non-believers. We shouldn't practice this culture in our life. Yes, we take the asbab, but not believe in this asbab. We believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.